¿En qué consiste tu tesis sobre la ética del hacker?
In my book, The Hacker Ethic, I talk about this new work ethic in which people have a creatively passionate relationship with what they do and want to do it with others. So that's called the hacker ethic. And another name for it could be creative work ethic. It's the work ethic of the information age. And it is replacing what was dominating the industrial society that Max Weber was describing with his idea of the industrial work ethic. And now these ideas that were the core in his concept, like that work is a duty, no matter of its content, whether it's meaningful or meaningless, and in which suffering is even noble. And in addition, the idea of work that is done in isolation from others, it is getting replaced because we are moving towards working together, and ultimately more and more development is based on innovation, and this needs this new ethic of creative passion and enriching interaction.
¿Qué es un hacker?
One thing about hackers is important to add that I use the word in the original sense that it had in the 60s at MIT. So that a hacker doesn't mean a computer criminal. It just means anyone who is passionate about what one does and wants to do it together with others. So it's not a computer criminal, and it's not only a computer world. So you can be a hacker in any field. You can be an artist hacker, or a researcher hacker, or a journalist hacker, or let's say carpenter hacker. This work ethic of hackers is now spreading because this kind of activity is in the core of the economy in our time. So it's becoming more and more the source of all economic development.
¿Creemos más en las computadoras o en los seres humanos?
Our relationship with technology is an interesting one. Well, first of all, I think that the internet is a mirror of ourselves. So there's nothing on the internet that isn't in us already. But the relationship with technology has some bit religious features. So people are making confessions on the internet about their personal life all the time, and I don't know if it is very wise, because the internet is like an omniscient God that knows everything but forgives nothing. So one should be careful about it. And one thing that I find very important is this question, because Max Weber was also talking about this development of enlightenment in which mystery was removed from the world because everything is revealed. And I think we should bring the mystery back. So it's actually very uninteresting if a person reveals everything about oneself on the internet. So we need the mystery back.
¿La tecnología es una nueva forma de religión?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a real religion, but definitely people have unproportionally strong feelings about technology, for example, the operating systems.
¿Qué hay de global y qué hay de local en los usos de las nuevas ttecnologías?
Well, in my work I have been around the world and I've seen the usage of technology, let's say starting from the poor areas of Africa. Actually, once you get that technology, you start using it in quite similar ways. Even I was in Bhutan, which is in the Himalayas, and has these Buddhist monks, and they were wearing these Buddhist robes, but talking to their mobile phones. So I think technology is mostly creating uniting forms of uses, but it doesn't mean that there's nothing local anymore. There definitely is.
¿Cómo pensás el futuro?
Well, we have a very big question to solve, so definitely we will need all the hacker ethic, the culture of creativity, of using the human potential fully to solve them. Of course, one of the biggest questions is ecological sustainability of our development. You know, we already use 1.5 times the resources of planet Earth, and in 2050 we would need 3 planet Earths, but the problem is that we only have 1. And by the way, this is a problem only for the human beings. The planet can continue without the human beings, but we cannot continue without the planet. And there's an organization called Global Footprint Network that every year calculates the date when we have used all the renewable resources of the planet. And this year we had used everything by mid-August. In the US, they also calculated for each country. In the US, they had used all the renewable resources in March. So it means that with that lifestyle, we would need 4 planet Earths already now. So this is one of the biggest questions where we need the same creativity that we have now seen creating information technology.
¿Hay nuevas formas de creatividad a partir de Internet y las nuevas tecnologías?
Yes, the new technologies have created new forms of art. Well, in a way, it was already at the very beginning a bit artistic project. But if you think about where the World Wide Web and the Internet came from, there was this link to the concept of hypertext by Ted Nelson, who is a very original person. But also, this was actually an idea in the theory of art, this idea of hypertext, things referring to each other, in literary theory especially. So definitely it has created new forms of art, and I believe that the biggest things will be seen only in the future.